This is KVUE News Daybreak.
The latest numbers are over 200,000 victims in 150 countries.
The biggest online extortion attack ever recorded, and experts expecting another round today. What you need to do to protect yourself.
And right now, there's no statewide texting while driving ban. What's happening today that could be the first step to changing that?
And say it ain't so. Your sushi could be contaminated. The painful parasite that could be hiding in your food, the doctors want you to know about.
Good Monday morning to you, and thank you for joining us for Daybreak at 6 a.m. I hope you're not having sushi for breakfast and we just ruined it for you. I'm Brian Mays.
And I'm Yvonne Nava. Let me tell you, a little sashimi, I can handle that.
That'll get you going.
You know, the gang's out here this morning. Anna Reyes has her eye on the road. Sushi, thumbs up, thumbs down.
I love sushi.
All right.
Love
and
sushi.
Erica has the thumbs down. I'm sorry, but will the thumbs down happen with the weather as well?
No, I think you guys are going to have 2 thumbs up for the weather today. Still lots of sunshine in the forecast. If you enjoyed this weekend, we're just going to add a little bit more clouds. Unfortunately, a little bit of humidity also. Check out your dew points right now. Mid-60s are your dew points, so we're increasing humidity because of southeast wind. Temperatures right now 68 at Camp Mabry, 62 at ABIA. So here's how Monday's going to play out. Not a bad start. Again, some clouds. Those should burn off by this afternoon. Your highs in the upper 80s this afternoon, but forecasted high is about 92 degrees here in Austin. Here's what your rush hour forecast looks like. Nothing in terms of weather to affect your morning or afternoon commute. And Reyes has more details on traffic. Any major accidents out there?
No major accidents, but one incident we are watching. This is Mopac northbound on the service road traveling 290 eastbound. There is a broken water pipe here, so AFD is on the scene trying to clear this incident. So you'll see a little bit of yellow. This is indicating a medium traffic, so a little bit slower in this area. Watch out for that as you hit the roads. This is a live look at 290 at North Mopac, I-35 at 11th. A little bit busier, but traffic is moving quite nicely. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Anna V. This morning, thousands of computers around the world could be at risk for another massive cyber attack. This message popping up on computer screens across 6 continents. The global hack hit more than 200,000 companies, government agencies, and hospitals in 150 countries over the weekend. Hackers using it to demand money. Here in the United States, FedEx reporting problems with its computers as well. The damage contained after a computer security programmer in Indiana found a kill switch.
It would not take for ransom all the files on that computer, and it also would not attempt to spread itself.
I would never recommend that you pay a ransom because you're dealing with a bunch of crooks. You'll never know that they're going to do what they promise to do anyway.
FBI officials and law enforcement agencies around the world preparing for a possible second attack today as people head back to work and turn on their computers. Security experts recommend backing up your computer and running the latest updated version of your operating system. Meanwhile, Microsoft placing the blame on the cyber attacks on the National Security Agency. The company's top attorney says Microsoft has the first responsibility to address the problem, but he also calls this a wake-up call for the government. He says the security flaw that the hackers used was stolen from the NSA. The attorney says the government should report vulnerabilities, not stockpile them. The NSA did notify Microsoft 3 months ago, but experts say the attack could have been prevented if Microsoft was told sooner.
Well, happening today, a Texas Senate committee will consider a statewide texting while driving ban. KVUE's Jay Wallace joins us in the newsroom to explain why the bill is getting a lot of support. Jay, good morning.
Yeah, that's right, Yvonne. The bill easily passed by the House in March, but it has since collected dust in the Senate. Texting while driving bans have come before the Texas legislature several times in the past, but in recent years has not been able to build enough support in the Texas Senate to pass. Now, House Bill 62 would hit drivers with a $25 to $99 fine for texting behind the wheel. The fine would climb up to $200 for repeated offenses. This bill has a lot of public support following a deadly church van crash in Uvalde County in March. Investigators say a 20-year-old man driving 90 miles plowed into a church van, killing 13 people inside. He reportedly admitted at the scene to texting while driving. Lawmakers say something needs to be done.
What we need is one uniform state law that's across the board on texting, so people will know what they can do and what they can't when they enter into the state. I think the odds are better this time because of the awareness. People know the problem out there. We need help from people to talk to their senators and tell them to support the bill. It's up to us to solve it.
So 2 years ago, the Texas Department of Transportation says more than 105,000 accidents were caused by distracted drivers, 400 of them deadly. So the legislature passed a ban on texting while driving in 2011, but then Governor Rick Perry vetoed it. No word on what Governor Greg Abbott will do if the bill makes it to his desk. Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Jay. 6:05, it just clicked over, and several states are considering a bill that could make it easier for police to catch drivers who are texting behind the wheel. Lawmakers in New York say the bill would legalize textilizers, which are devices used to tell if a driver was texting while driving by scanning their cell phone's text history. Opponents say this violates privacy rights, but supporters say it helps keep families safe on the roads. Right now, the actual technology that would be used to scan the phones doesn't exist, but computer experts say they can create it if the bill is approved. Lawmakers in New Jersey, Tennessee, and Illinois are also looking into the bill.
Republicans and Democrats reacting after the president suggested that he could possibly have tapes of his conversations with former FBI Director James Comey. The firestorm following his firing continued over the weekend. As ABC's Lana Zach tells us, the Trump administration now scrambling to find a new FBI director and a consistent story on the motivation for Comey's dismissal.
The hunt is now underway for a new FBI director. As candidates arrived at the Justice Department for interviews, the president said James Comey's replacement could be named sometime this week.
I would encourage the president to pick somebody we can all rally around, including those who work in the FBI.
On Meet the Press, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham said it's time to clear the air.
But I think it's time to call the FBI director before the country at large and explain what happened to that dinner. You can't be cute about tapes.
The tapes in question, those referenced by the president in a Friday tweet storm when he wrote, James Comey better hope there are no tapes of our conversations before he starts leaking to the press.
We got to make sure that these tapes, if they exist, don't mysteriously disappear.
If, in fact, there are such recordings, I think those recordings will be subpoenaed, and I think they'll probably have to turn them over.
For his part, President Trump declined to answer questions about those reference tapes at a golf course Sunday. There are still weighty questions remaining about the motivation for the firing of Comey and what it means to the ongoing investigation into Russian election influence. Members of Congress are hoping to hear from Comey himself, who visited the theater and posed for a picture with a cast over the weekend.
And we may still hear from the man at the center of the storm. ABC News has learned that James Comey would like to speak publicly. Associates say he's not interested in the publicity, but he would like to answer questions about his record. Lana Zach, ABC News, Washington.
Back here at home today, Austin City officials taking the next step in revamping the old Seahome Power Plant. The historic structure sits on 3 acres of land at Lakefront there downtown. The building is transitioning into becoming housing and retail space.
6:07, it's not exactly what you want to hear first thing in the morning, but doctors say it's important. An illness caused by eating parasite-contaminated fish or seafood is on the rise in Western countries. It's called anasakiasis, and doctors say it happens when you eat sushi and other raw or undercooked fish. So here's how to prevent it. Doctors say when preparing fish at home, cook seafood to an internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit. The FDA says freezing fish can also kill parasites. And when going to sushi restaurants, make sure to check out the rating. Doctors say if they can't maintain an A rating, just avoid that place.
Wi-Fi access is about to get easier for airline passengers. That's because today a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket will lift off from Florida's coast to place a new communication satellite in space. It will boost broadband not just for airline travelers, but also for maritime crews and the military. This will be the heaviest payload for the Falcon 9 since setting the stage for even heavier satellites down the road. Time to get a check of our forecast for this Monday as we begin another week with Erica Lopez. Hi, Erica.
Hey there, guys. Well, this week we are increasing rain shower chances, humidity. We had a pretty pleasant weekend and last week with low humidity levels, but those dew points are now rising back to the uncomfortable side. So that's also bringing in some cloud coverage out there. We're going to kick off your day mostly cloudy, but we will end up with a mostly sunny afternoon. Temperatures right now in the 60s across the viewing area, lower 60s for some throughout the hill country, 68 in Austin, 65 for Buda. Round Rock, you're in the upper 60s right now, as well as Georgetown at 68 degrees. And here's what we're seeing across the eastern counties, mid to lower 60s for you guys. Again, the big thing will be the dew points increasing into the 60s also. So that means means it's starting to feel sticky, a little bit uncomfortable out there. You'll really feel the humidity levels today compared to the last 48 hours. So that's why we're waking up to a mostly cloudy start to your day, but those clouds should burn off, but also allow our highs to be in the lower 90s. 92 today for the Austin metro area. It's going to be a toasty one, and also UV index on the very high category, so protect yourself from the sun. Guys, back to you.
All right, Erica, thanks. A big time for just about every family. We're talking about graduation.
And for one Houston family, it was an extra special one. 86-year-old Ken Levin graduated from University of Houston this weekend alongside his son Herschel. But this father and son academic duo began much earlier when Herschel was homeschooled at a young age by his dad.
Started out with me having to drive him. Now he has to drive me.
What we did was more or less a partnership. We made the dean's list.
Oh yeah, yes, that's been regular.
Makes me question the dean's standards.
They're so cute. I love that duo. In college, they've taken the same classes and even earned the same history and political science degrees. Levin says it's given him a chance to spend more time with his son. Oh, that's my favorite story.
Big family, too. Yeah, that's a great story.
But still ahead this morning.
Coming up, how one credit card company is trying to make your shopping experience more convenient.
I think she would have turned into a very, very violent person because she was already destructive on just herself.
And Dell Children's Hospital is addressing mental health, the new initiative they're starting, and how you can help. Well, investigators are working to figure out how a prisoner got a hold of a correction officer's gun inside of a hospital and held 2 nurses hostage. It happened near Chicago on Saturday. The inmate, 21-year-old Tawan Salters, was being treated at the hospital when he grabbed the gun from the guard watching him. After a tense 3-hour standoff, police shot and killed Salters. Both nurses held hostage were not injured. And at this time, it is unclear why he was hospitalized.
Baylor University's Board of Regents has elected a new chairman. This comes as the school works to get past its sexual assault scandal. On Friday, Regents voted to name Joel Allison the new chairman. He's replacing interim chairman Ron Murph. The change will take effect June the 1st. Baylor's new president, Linda Livingstone, will also take office on June the 1st. She'll become the university's first female president in the school's 172-year history.
Well, a Dallas couple's private proposal is now getting worldwide attention. A photographer spent hours in the woods last Saturday to capture their sunrise engagement in Arkansas. But it turns out the Arkansas-based photographer took pictures of the wrong set of lovebirds. The photographer was hired to take photos of another engagement from the same site, but they did not show up on time. After realizing his mistake, he shared the story and pictures on Facebook. The link eventually made its way to the Texas couple.
The story, the day, I was like, I think that's us. And as you read more into the story, I'm like, that is us, that is us.
Well, the groom-to-be tried hiring a photographer, but no one was available. So for them, this mistake was a pleasant surprise. So I said the moral of the story is get to stuff on time.
That's right.
That's exactly how I told it to you.
Set an alarm on your phone. Get there on time. Right? Don't be late.
Can you imagine, though? He's like, oh, this is so romantic. Here, that's not me.
Sorry, that wasn't us.
Not me.
Yeah, sorry about that. But lucky for that couple that got the pictures. How about that?
Well, if that happened this weekend, they had great weather for those photos this weekend. So any picture-taking plans, today's actually a good day also. Still lots of sunshine in your forecast. That's going to change as we fast forward to about midweek. Some rain shower chances are heading our way. And also tracking a cold front this weekend. That's going to bring in some chances for storms. But still, enjoy the sunshine today. Still some sunshine available tomorrow also. But right now, we're still under the influence of this high pressure that's slowly moving to the east. As it continues to move to the east, that's going to funnel in some southeast moisture, which is increasing our clouds. And those clouds will give us a better rain shower chance by about Wednesday. Here's a look at your temperatures as you're heading out the door. 67 in Austin, getting 63, 62 for Mason right now. That's about the coolest spot throughout the hill country. Hour by hour, again, a mostly cloudy start. We'll push forward to a mostly sunny afternoon. Highs in the upper 80s, lower 90s for this afternoon. It's still going to be a toasty one, just like we had this weekend. Lots of 90s out there. So hour by hour, Today, kicking off your day, mostly cloudy, but again, lots of sun this afternoon. Until we fast forward until Tuesday, that's where a lot more clouds will enter into our region, still with that southeast flow. Rain shower chances arrive by Wednesday, as we'll have a decent amount of rain shower activity and some decent storms just to the west of us, but we'll see some isolated showers across the hill country by Wednesday morning. Mold will be in the high category because humidity is going to be a huge factor this entire work week into the weekend also. So hopefully you enjoy that drier air this weekend. But still, today, tomorrow will be your driest days for this week until rain chances arrive by Wednesday. Turning things over to Ana Reyes. She has the latest on traffic this morning.
Thank you, Erica. Good morning. Well, Cedar Park, this is a live look at 183 at Balcones Club and 183 at Lakeline Boulevard. You can see the roads are open and clear. Traffic is moving very nicely if you're coming in from the north side of town. 183 southbound, 45 to Mopac, a 7-minute commute, 10-minute commute, 45 to I-35 on 183 southbound. Now Mopac southbound, 45 to downtown, a 15-minute commute, 4 minutes, 22 to Cesar Chavez. Green light there. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Anavid. You know, trying to decide whether you need to swipe your card or insert your chip in your card, it can get kind of annoying.
Yeah, it can, and it's time-consuming as well, but that's about to change. ABC's Diane Macedo and Kenneth Moten explain how one popular credit card company is working to get you through the cashier line much faster.
In today's Tech Bites, a new partnership that's hoping to make self-driving cars a reality.
Lyft is teaming up with Waymo, which is owned by Google's parent company. The companies are revealing very few details about the deal to launch self-driving car pilots. Lyft's key rival Uber has already been working on self-driving technology. MasterCard is working to speed up transactions with its chip cards.
So those transactions can take several seconds, which can feel like minutes if you have a long line behind you. MasterCard figures if it can make the transactions faster, more businesses will adopt the chip card terminals.
Nike has put some soul into some of its iPhone cases.
You can now protect your iPhone 7 with cases that are modeled on the bottoms of some of Nike's iconic sneakers. The price tag, $35.
Pretty cool.
Will the phone case make you run faster?
Maybe.
I don't know if it works that way. Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Well, your school bell forecast this Monday is a toasty one as you head back to school. Be prepared with lots of sunscreen in your backpack because we do have lots of sunshine this afternoon. Lots of clouds this morning, but those clouds should burn off. Temperatures by lunchtime about 80 degrees. Then we'll be in the 90s for this afternoon. 92 is your forecasted high. Keep in mind, again, the UV index will be very high, so protect against sun damage. Lather on that sunscreen and possibly a hat, some sunglasses to keep you extra safe today. Back to you.
Erica, thanks. Dell Children's Medical Center has a challenge for you today. Earlier this year, the hospital announced a new initiative to better address mental health. They received a generous grant from the Maxwell family, but it's a challenge grant, which means the more money the community puts in, the more money the Maxwell family will put in. KVUE's Corey Coffin takes a look at why this project is so important.
Having the right access to mental health services can save lives, yet there's still an unspoken stigma around it.
I dabble in drawing.
Mana Rodriguez would know.
I like this one.
Integral Care has helped her battle depression, anger, and a suicide attempt.
I felt like I was a little more of an outcast because of it. Because I didn't think anyone really went through therapy. I didn't think that that was an actual thing that people did to get help.
I think she would have turned into a very, very violent person because she was already destructive on just herself.
She made a lot of progress. She worked through that with journaling. She started working and was as a great employee, and I think she feels really proud.
Integral Care works closely with Dell Children's Medical Center for cases like Mana's. She didn't need to be in the hospital setting, but she did need help.
We're trying to create another avenue that's more a match for what they need so that Dell Children's isn't flooded with cases they can't handle, and that kids are getting better care and the help that they need right away.
Right now, Dell Children's has some mental health services, but a new initiative aims to make treatment much more comprehensive.
There are puzzle pieces spread out all over the place, and trying to put those, for a family to try to put all those puzzle pieces together into a picture of what we need to do for their child has been difficult, and we're trying to put all those puzzle pieces in one place so we can say, here's the picture, this is what it looks like.
The new facility will have an inpatient unit with 24 beds, the Texas Child Study Center, an outpatient clinic, as well as an intensive outpatient program.
And having all of this in one place helps people access the service.
Thanks for changing my life.
So that other kids, like Mana, can lead more productive, peaceful lives.
My whole view on the world in general, like how dark and bitter and cruel it could be, changed into something brighter.
For KVUE News, I'm Corey Coffin.
Corey, thanks a lot. Construction is expected to begin this summer. Completion set for next spring. So here's where you come in. The challenge grant we mentioned earlier, community donations will be matched dollar for dollar up to $3 million. When it comes to buying certain things online, you know you're taking a risk, but there's a new warning for those trying to buy puppies online, the scam that's conning people out of their money, and what you need to be on the lookout for.
And new concerns that a massive global cyber attack could get even worse this morning. Hundreds of thousands of computers are already infected with the ransomware. Coming up, what you need to know before you head back into work.
This is KVUE News Daybreak.
Welcome back and good Monday morning to you. 6:29 is your time.
Live look outside. You can see it seems a bit hazy out there, maybe a bit foggy out there as we begin. It's going to be another hot day today, but it's going to be a nice week ahead. Thanks for watching Daybreak this morning.
Let's check in with Storm Team meteorologist Erica Lopez. We also have Anavid Reyes, who is waiting to tell us about the traffic situation.
Absolutely.
I hope it's a thumbs up. Let's check in with Erica first.
All right. Well, yeah, just a little cloud coverage out there to kick off your morning, and also a lot of low-level moisture. Dew points continue to rise. We have a south wind. It's calm, so that helps things be a little bit hazy out there. Dew points in the 60s. Temperatures right now, 62 for ABIA, 67 at Camp Mabry. But this is how today's going to play out. Even though we are waking up to a mostly cloudy, hazy start to our day, a lot of those clouds are going to burn off by this afternoon and give us a mostly sunny afternoon. But that's also going to allow your temperatures to be in the 90s. About 92 degrees is your forecasted high today. So no issues for your rush hour forecast. It's just the warm temperatures to be aware of. Rain shower chances, I'll chat about them in the full forecast. Turning things over to Anavid Reyes. She has the latest on traffic.
Thank you, Erica. And no issues on the roads this morning as well. This is a look at your Austin metro area. You can see green light most of the Austin metro area here. So let's go ahead and look at your text.views 183 at Balcones Club, 183 at Lakeline Boulevard. Traffic flowing nicely. Roads are open and clear. No issues there. Drive times 183 southbound 45 to Mopac. 7-minute commute, 11 commute on 183 southbound 45 to I-35. Guys, back to you.
Anavid, thanks. Thousands of computers around the world could be at risk for another massive attack today because of a major cyber attack, many calling unprecedented in scale. KVUE's Jay Wallace in the newsroom for us this morning with what you need to know about the concerns. Jay?
Yeah, Brian, this all started this past Friday when more than 200,000 companies, government agencies, and hospitals in 150 countries had come under assault of this cyber attack as hackers used this to lock down all files on an infected computer and demand money for a computer's administrator to regain control. So in the U.S., FedEx reported problems with its computers as the majority of the attacks targeted Russia, Ukraine, and Taiwan. The damage was contained after a computer security programmer in Indiana found a kill switch hidden within the code by a security researcher. Cybersecurity experts believe the attack was actually carried out with the help of a program that was first developed by U.S. intelligence to compromise computers of terrorists.
They lost it. Somebody stole the information, published it on the internet, and now is being used against victims in the United States and elsewhere.
While no one has yet to be identified as the culprit, the expert who stopped the spread of the attack says the criminals will likely change the code, reboot, and try to start again. So with that in mind, FBI officials and law enforcement agencies around the world are preparing for a possible second attack. Security experts recommend updating older Microsoft operating systems as soon as possible to make sure they aren't vulnerable to a more powerful version of the software or to future versions that can't be stopped. In the newsroom, Jay Wallace, back to you.
All right, Jay, thank you. Well, President Trump is hoping to name a new FBI director by this week. The president is considering 11 candidates to replace former FBI Director James Comey, including Texas Senator John Cornyn. He reportedly interviewed for the FBI director job in Washington over the weekend. And if Cornyn is selected and confirmed for the position, it could set off a domino effect throughout the state. First, Governor Greg Abbott would choose an interim replacement to take over the role until November. Then there would be a runoff election to complete Cornyn's term, which runs through 2020. If no candidate gets more than 50% of the vote in that election, the two candidates with the most votes would then go to a runoff race. UT history professor Jeremy Suri explained a race for 2017 could have ramifications on a 2018 Senate race for Senator Ted Cruz's seat.
A race in 2017 for Senator Cornyn's seat brings more attention to Texas, it brings more Democratic money in, and most of all, it gives the Democrats more momentum in mobilizing people for 2018. What the challengers to Ted Cruz have to struggle with is getting people interested in the race early. Having another Senate election the year before helps to get people interested and concerned about the issues.
As for his potential consideration, Senator Cornyn says, quote, "I have the distinct privilege of serving 28 million Texans in the United States Senate, and that is where my focus remains."
6:34 now, and all eyes on North Korea this morning after they tested yet another missile. They say the medium long-range missile they tested yesterday can carry a nuclear warhead, and not just a medium-sized one, but a, quote, large-size, heavy nuclear warhead, end quote. North Korea had tested this kind of missile 3 times before. All 3 had failed, but this time the launch was successful.
It's the first time we've seen any military missile go this far, but we can be sure that the North Koreans are trying to make this missile nuclear capable.
Now, this specific missile reached an unusually high altitude, covering 430 miles in about 30 minutes before coming down in the sea between North Korea and Japan, a few hundred miles from Russia. In response, the Trump administration is now calling for tougher sanctions.
Prosecutors will no longer pursue an alleged sexual assault case at Austin's Boone Elementary School. Investigators say the 4-year-old girl suffered injuries from a playground accident, not a sexual assault, and that's according to the latest medical examination report. AISD police originally closed the case in February without reviewing a full medical report. The girl's parents then requested an investigation and filed a lawsuit. Travis County investigators took a fresh look on the case, but now say there's not enough evidence to press criminal charges. Well, this morning, police are searching for a missing 14-year-old boy who they say is in danger. Take a look at this picture here. Asa Lagarde is from Lockhart. Police say he was last seen on May 9th. He is 4 foot 6 inches tall, weighs about 80 pounds. He has brown eyes and brown hair. If you have any information about his whereabouts, contact police.
The effort to remove Confederate statues taking on a new level in Charlottesville, Virginia. This image from a pro-Confederate rally in Charlottesville is sparking a bit of anger. A group carried torches to protest the possible removal of the statue they were surrounding, which honors Confederate General Robert E. Lee. The protests were led by the man who coined the phrase alt-right. His name is Richard Spencer. The mayor of Charlottesville says the city is rejecting their intimidation.
What a lot of this, the alt-right and these extremists who are trafficking in this kind of theatrics want is more oxygen. So I really want to deny them that oxygen.
Now, meanwhile, New Orleans, Louisiana is set to take down a total of 4 Confederate statues. In Charlottesville, a court injunction has stopped the city from removing that specific Robert E. Lee statue for the next 6 months. A warning today for anyone looking to buy a puppy online. Their adorable faces at the center of an online scam ripping people off across the country. Consumers think they're dealing with legitimate breeders. The so-called sellers even send pictures and videos of the puppies and promise to deliver them to their doorstep after they receive the money. Once the buyer wire transfers the money, the seller's website's taken down. The puppies nowhere to be seen. The scam is impacting people across the nation, including right here in Texas.
It's a scam that really preys on people's emotions. We've seen people lose up to $2,000, $2,500 for a puppy that doesn't even exist.
To avoid falling victim to the scam, experts say never purchase a pet sight unseen off the internet. Visit the animal in person and beware of sellers who require you to pay by wire transfer. Also a good idea to consider adopting from the local humane society or other local shelters.
New recall for you this morning at 6:38. Valley Innovative Services is recalling over 130,000 pounds of waffle products due to possible listeria contamination. Some of the foods being recalled include several variations of creamy chicken patty and waffle products. The frozen entrees were produced and packaged between May 2016 and May 2017 and sold throughout the U.S. So far, no sicknesses have been reported. For all the product details, head to our website, KVUE.com.
No one likes hitting a pothole driving down the street. Now, one man in Dallas is taking the city to court over it. John Everhart says he saved for years to buy his Porsche, but about 2 months ago, his dream car was put out of commission with 2 blown tires after he hit a pothole. He sent the $1,200 repair bill to the city, but when they said they weren't liable, he decided to try and sue, not just for him, but for everyone in Dallas.
In the city of Dallas, you can't really avoid them too easily. That pothole had to be 1.5 feet deep when I fell in it. The city needs to take care of these things when they become evident.
Now, big picture, Everhart can't afford to repair his ride. However, he's willing to go to court over potholes for thousands of other Dallas drivers. Let's go check out our forecast now with Erica. Hi, Erica.
Hey there, guys. Well, you probably noticed a cloudy start to our day. That's not going to be the case for this Monday. Lots of sun in the forecast, but temperatures right now as you're heading out the door still in the 60s. Keep in mind you're going to feel the humidity out there with dew points in the 60s. Completely different from this weekend. Humidity levels were on the lower side. So hour by hour, this is what we're tracking. Any lunchtime plans outdoors, we'll have more sunshine out there, but temps will already be in the 80s this afternoon. Upper 80s, lower 90s is what we're tracking temperature-wise. Your high here in Austin, calling it 92 degrees, so another day in the 90s. We have a cool down headed our way. We won't feel that cool down until about midweek, but that cool down does bring rain chances in our forecast. Tonight, a bit humid, but partly cloudy conditions. So you probably enjoyed the outdoors this weekend, especially for Mother's Day. This photo, our KVUE photo of the morning, comes in from Jane K. She was out in Barton Springs. Looks kind of packed. I don't blame him. It was toasty, but still lots of sunshine to enjoy out there. Guys, back to you.
Very painful because I tweaked it before the last time, the last shot I shot, and but it's hard to tell right now.
Oh, that was so hard to watch. Kawhi Leonard's injury, a turning point in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals yesterday in Oakland. When he left the game, the Spurs were up by 20 over the Warriors. They rallied, though. Golden State did in the third. They went on an 18-0 run after Leonard left. Steph Curry and Kevin Durant led the way. Steph had 40. Kevin had 34 points. Golden State won the opener 113-111 despite trailing by 25 points at one stage in the game. They're back in Oakland for Game 2 tomorrow night. Gosh, that was just hard to watch.
It was heartbreaking. I hope the whole series is as exciting because, man, it was like they'd score, this and score. It was pretty awesome.
I wish the Spurs had everybody healthy. I'd like to see what would happen there.
I also wonder why, when you get to that level, why can't you make a free throw? I don't get it.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
That's
You're at that level.
Yeah, it's free after all.
Well, a lot of controversy this morning over an East Austin mural that's been covered up. The artist behind it talks about what he needs to see happen next.
The good school that best fits your students' needs.
It is an exciting time for parents watching their teens get ready for college. But how can parents help their kids get there? Our Daybreak series, Parental Pressure, what you can do to make sure your child is ready.
Coming up on GMA, that massive cyber attack over the weekend raising serious concerns about security. This as new threats loom with millions returning to work this Monday morning. We'll show you what you can do to protect yourself from an attack. Plus, Trump's Homeland Security Advisor will join us with the latest from the White House. That's all coming up this morning right here, only on GMA.
Welcome back. 6:45. Here are some of today's top stories happening today. Trump administration attorneys will try to convince a federal appeals court to reinstate President Trump's revised travel ban. This is the second time this week the executive order temporarily restricts travel and blocks new visas from 6 predominantly Muslim countries. These include Iran, Libya, Syria, and Sudan. Opponents say it discriminates against Muslims. Next week, Pope Francis is expected to meet with President Trump at the Vatican, and he hopes to find some common ground with our nation's leader. The two have different views on many social issues, but Pope Francis says rather than judging Mr. Trump, he wants to welcome him with respect during his first foreign trip while in office. Happening today, Austin City officials are taking the next step in revamping the Seaholm Power Plant. The historic structure sits on 3 acres of lakefront in downtown, and the building is transitioning into becoming housing and retail space.
All right, we're starting a new series this week on Daybreak. It's called Parental Pressure. Today we're talking about college and getting your teen ready. All parents want what's best for their teenagers. For many, that means doing all they can to get that teen into a good college. According to the experts we talked to, a parent can be most helpful in a supporting role. And what constitutes a good college can be different for each and every student. Let's begin with that whole good school idea.
A good school is the good school that best fits your students' needs. It's not the one on the ranking from the newspaper that says it's the best school.
Fleming works with some of the best and brightest at Westwood High School in Round Rock, and that means she also works with some of the best and brightest parents. Fleming says the best role for a parent is a supporting role.
The support part is more of knowing what's going on with your student, helping them find the resources they need to empower themselves. It's absolutely okay to think, I'm going to go to this school because it's the best school. However, I really encourage parents to expose their children to many different options.
We can't put all of the responsibility on the parent. They're the support system. They're the ones who can, push you to go do it, kind of push you in the right direction, but ultimately it's going to be up to the student.
Kenneth Franklin works in the Austin Community College Recruitment and Enrollment Center. Students have homework, and Kenneth says it's a good idea for the supportive parents to also do their homework, like helping the student research certain fields and careers.
Finding out more about the actual career and what's involved. Do I actually need a degree to actually go into this career field? Do I need certifications? What certain things, so they can actually start researching those type of things for the student, helping them preparing for their career.
Both of our experts say parents should encourage their students to take part in college days on their high school campuses. Fleming also says using a career inventory program can be helpful.
And it comes up with all the careers they might be interested in. They might not. Some of them are kind of funny. But it starts them thinking about, what do I want to do with my life? And that's something fun you can do with your child.
They also agree that it's okay for your students to not have his or her career or even a college preference set in stone while still walking the halls of high school.
You don't have to know what you want to do to go to college. You just need to make that first step.
Kids need to explore. So I really encourage parents and students to look at what they love to do and focus on that. Take electives that look interesting without worrying about how is this going to affect my college career, and then go from there, because it's just as important to find out what you don't like as what you do.
Dual credit, early college, high schools, there are many more options available for kids today than when mom and dad were in high school, and not every plan works for every student.
What we're trying to foster in our students is a sense of awareness and individuality, where they'll be able to get the resources possible with the parent's support, not having the parent do it for them.
Great advice there. Coming up tomorrow in our Parental Pressure series, juggling work and motherhood can be difficult. So how do you know you're dividing enough attention to both? Well, we talked to 2 moms to see how they find the right balance. And now let's check out our forecast, see how things are shaping up with Erica Lopez.
Well, kind of toasty for this afternoon. This morning, conditions are mild. It's going to be a little bit muggy. I think that's the main thing you'll feel in the change of your forecast this morning compared to the last 2 days. Temperature right now in Austin, 67. We have some lower 60s across the panhandle. But the reason for the increased humidity is this area of high pressure just to the east of us. That is what gave us a lot of sunshine. But as it continues to push east, that also brings in humidity. We have a slight breeze coming in from the southeast, but again, that is what's increasing humidity levels, which will be the case for this entire work week. 62 at ABIA, 67 for Camp Mabry. Temperatures across the viewing area, mid to lower 60s, a few upper 60s out there across central counties. Georgetown at 68, but Austin 67 degrees. So here's how your day is going to play out. First day of the work week, welcoming it in with lots of clouds, but those clouds should burn off by this afternoon, expecting a mostly sunny afternoon with highs in the upper 80s, but we're calling it 92 here in Austin. I think central counties will have the best chance of seeing those 90-degree temperatures for the forecasted high today. So again, today is probably going to be the warmest and also the sunniest day of the work week. This week is going to be kind of a cloudy, muggy work week with increased rain shower chances by Wednesday. That's when we're tracking about a 30% chance of rain shower activity, mainly for the east or the hill country counties because of a system that's just to the east of us by midweek. But again, the best chance will be the hill country. Mold in the high category. Check out your latest counts every single day in the Statesman. Here's the next 7 days. Quiet for the next 48 hours. Enjoy that. Rain arrives by Wednesday. And Avit has the latest on traffic. How are things shaping up?
Pretty great this Monday morning. This is a live tech stop view at 183 at Balcones Club. So if you're coming in from Cedar Park, I want to let you know that the roads are open and clear on this highway. Let's go ahead and look at your Austin Metro map. A green light here. The broken water pipe that I was talking about in southwest Austin earlier this morning has now cleared on Mopac northbound, traveling 290 eastbound. So thumbs up in that area. Drive times I-35 northbound, Buda to downtown, getting a little bit busier, 29 minutes. 25 minutes I-35 southbound, Round Rock to downtown. Guys, back to you.
My fucking country is the greatest country in the world. My country is the greatest country in the world. Don't stop that.
Oh boy, this Connecticut man, 35-year-old Alexander Downing, faces charges after yelling at a Muslim family vacationing in South Padre Island. It happened on May 3rd. One of the family members shot this video during the incident. Officials say that Downing shouted Islamophobic and sexually inappropriate comments to the family. He was arrested after police were called to the scene. He's now facing public intoxication charges.
Oh, there it is, the mugshot.
And he's crying.
He's crying like a little baby.
Oh, Lord.
Across social media, there's been growing outrage over a beloved mural in East Austin. The mural was painted over on Friday, but many say the piece off East 12th and Chacon had strong cultural value within the community. The artist who painted it lives in Austin, says he was disappointed to see it go. He says he was kind of surprised, actually, to see the countless expressions of anger and disappointment streamed across social media.
They said, thank you for bringing beauty to this part of the town, you know, and that struck me, man, because to be doing what I do and have that kind of reception in a brand new area where I don't know anybody, to have that kind of reception, it meant the world to me, man.
Very talented man. Roger says he hasn't been contacted to paint a new mural there, but says he hopes he hears something soon.
I want that Run DMC one.
Me too. I like that one too.
So cool. Well, for the second year in a row, the Miss USA crown went to the District of Columbia. Miss DC Cara McCullough became the 66th Miss USA during last night's pageant. She is a 25-year-old chemist working for the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission. She will now go on to compete on the Miss Universe contest. We wish her all the best. We'll be right back.
All right, your next 7 days, well, the first 2 days are kind of sunny. You'll have some clouds out there, but rain chances arrive by Wednesday. Tracking some storm possibilities for the end of the work week into the weekend as a cold front pushes through. So I think the big change this week, guys, will be the humidity content. It's going to be a little sticky pretty much all week long.
Okay. Hey, at least she warned us, right?
She warned us. You've been warned. Hope you have a wonderful Monday.